Hello, everyone. We're just going to give everyone a couple minutes to log in and get settled before we officially start. Jasmine, how's your day going so far?
You know, my day's going pretty well. It's a Tuesday, so we're almost halfway through the week. But honestly, it's been so far so good. I'm looking forward to Friday. But how's your day going?
Great, thank you. Hi, Lauren. Looking forward to seeing you in a little bit. Hi, Brian. All right, cool. Looks like we are starting to roll in. So, excellent, and thanks, Ian. So let's get started here, and everyone else can just kick off. So hello and welcome to Sessionboard's first CS-led webinar. We're really excited to have you here. Today we're going to be reviewing our portals as a whole and what we here at Sessionboard suggest when it comes to deciding between using a form, a task, or a file request. But before we get started, for those of us that don't know each other, I'm Katrina here with Sessionboard.
I'm Jasmine.
Excellent, thank you. And then we have Ian here in the background. He's also on our team here at Sessionboard. So throughout the presentation, please don't hesitate to put any of your questions in the chat. If you do see Ian respond, he's with us, so he might just give a quick little answer there. And then we do have some time scheduled for the end of our webinar as a whole to address any questions that you do have. The overall goal for today is to help all of you feel more confident about utilizing our portals as a whole, and then hopefully whatever you set up for your first event with us here at Sessionboard, we can duplicate and use for any event moving forward, just saving a bunch of your time. So what exactly is a portal? So a portal is a web page that all of your speakers automatically are brought to once they've gone through and submitted a session submission form or an intake form. And this is speaking to your speakers, sponsors, and exhibitors. So anyone that is a part of your platform as a whole. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We can take a look at what the portal looks like from a user perspective. So here, it's a great resource for everyone to be able to complete tasks, submit files, view documents, and any wiki pages that we have. For the purpose of our webinar today, we will be using speakers as a general term to discuss everyone who has access to the portal. So again, the portal, this hub right here, is where your speakers may come to learn everything that they need for your event, both pre and post, and also see all of the sessions that they have affiliated here. But what if we have a different bit of information that different sets of speakers need to be able to access? What's the best way for us to make that happen?
Good question, Katrina. So we're going to start with creating portals and best practices. So the number one question typically that's asked when starting to use portals is, how do you know if I should use a custom portal or use the default portal that's available to me? So a great tip that I have, honestly, it's very cliche or it may sound fairly weird, but I like to use Venn diagrams. I know this is like third grade, we're getting back to our inner child, but I think a Venn diagram is a really great tool to be able to compare and contrast, the task or resources that you may need to share with one group of contacts versus another. So I like to think of this in 3 steps. Step 1, let's make a list. Make a list of all the tasks and resources that you would need to collect or share with your speakers. Now, step 2. Step 2 is going to be deciding the different types of groups that you would need, and as well as how will I want to separate them. So you'll see a little later today, we'll walk through 2 different types of groups, internal and external speakers, which you can see on the screen. But step 3 is going to be now assigning or mapping those fields or those tasks and resources to those respective groups. So what tasks and resources are shared between the 2? Which ones only need to belong to our internal speakers and which ones only need to belong to our external speakers? So this is a great visual representation of the number of portals I'll need, which I can see is 2. And then as I'm creating those different tasks and resources, how I can assign them to the different groups. Now, Keep in mind, not every event will use a custom portal. So it is okay if you choose to just use the default portal available to you. That default portal is really good if all of your speakers need to complete the same task and the same resources. In addition, keep in mind, as Katrina mentioned at the beginning of our webinar, that when we're talking through today, we're speaking as it relates to speakers. However, portals are not only solely for speakers. So I can use portals for chairpersons, moderators, session submitters. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But overall, it is really important to first plan out your portals and task assignments. Sometimes it's easier done just using a pen and a paper. Now let's create our portal experience and walk through this concept of internal speakers versus external speakers. So as Katrina did, I will also be sharing my screen just to walk through this concept with you all. So for today, we're going to be creating a custom portal. And with Sessionboard, as it relates to creating custom portals, we use something called filters. Now, filtering by a contact field or a subset of session fields that you'll see allows event organizers to group similar speakers together. So you're not assigning individual contacts to a portal, but simply moving these groups of people together. So event organizers can create custom portal using custom fields. And you'll see that today we're going to be working with a custom field. So let's look at this example that I have of internal speakers and external speakers. Now, to easily divide these people into their associated portals, I'm using a custom contact field called internal speaker. So with this, I've created this contact field, and it's actually a checkbox field. It allows for me to easily go through my list of contacts and check off, is this an internal speaker or not? Now with that custom contact field, I can now associate it with a custom portal. And as I can see here, I'm using internal speaker as the first portal that I'm creating. I'm using that field internal speaker, and everyone that I've checked off that box is going to be funneled into this portal. Now, what's really nice is that I can use that same field for my external speakers. So instead of this portal having internal speakers that's checked off, I want where this field is not checked off. So everyone else, and that would be my external speakers here. Now, a couple of tips and tricks that just CS members we like to share with our clients is if you do anticipate using more than one portal, something that would be nice is creating a sample or a template portal. You can create that template portal, assign all the different tasks and resources that you may need, build out that title and that description for the portal, and then you can go in and you can duplicate the portal. What's nice about duplication is that it duplicates not only the criteria, so the filters that you set, but it also duplicates any task or resources that you assign to it. So I can easily use that duplicated portal, go in, relabel it, and then remove any resources that I may not need for this particular group. In addition, as it relates to additional helpful tips and tricks, I like to mention that when it comes to editing your portal, so assigning that portal title and description, definitely maximize the use of that description area. This is where you can highlight those important dates and deadlines. Also, you can link to important resources that you want to share with your speakers. And this is just a plug-in that our Help Center does have an article collection solely for portal users. So you're more than welcome to use these articles listed here and add them to that portal description, maybe providing guidance on how they can upload content or how they can view their submission. Also within that description area, it's really nice to include who is best that I should reach out to if I have any questions. So providing that point of contact email address is always nice and best practice here. Last but not least, and this relates to if I'm choosing to use a custom contact field to filter by, I like to use bulk editing. I feel like a lot of times people like to go in individually manage those contacts, but if I'm doing something with a lot of contacts or a lot of speakers, let's do it in a bulk action. So I can select a number of different contacts that I want to bulk edit, and I can edit that field all in one, which is really nice. Now, in summary, the concept of creating portals and how many portals does not have to be as jarring as it seems. While your session submission form is live, this is a perfect time to become familiar with portals and begin mapping out the different types of portals and tasks you may need. So as always, the customer success team is here to help you. So feel free to reach out to your assigned CSM if you have any questions, or even if you've created your portals and you want just another set of eyes, just to make sure that you have set up the portals correctly. Now that we've reviewed the concept of what a portal is and creating custom portals if you choose, let's see the portals in action. So there are 5 key components of a portal, and that's going to include our portal forms, our file requests, tasks, wiki pages, and files. Katrina and I will review how to create each item as well as unique use cases to help you leverage them within your events. But first up, let's talk about portal forms, and I'll pass it over to Katrina.
Thank you. So a portal form, so once we're in the portal, we're focusing on our contacts, so our speakers again. We'd like to use this opportunity to learn more information about your speakers, obtain additional information specific to the event, and then we can also utilize this in a post-event resource as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. So our forms, like I said, we're focusing on the contact information. We've already gone through our session submission form. We do have some preliminary information on the speakers, but we want to collect more. So from a user perspective, we can create a contact information form. When they click in, anything that's already been added on behalf of the speaker will dynamically pull in. So this is a great way for them to A, review all of the information that you already have about them, but then also collect additional information, and they can also make edits here. So my bio here, this is a little bit short. I can add more information, and as we save this form, it's going to automatically update to my contact card within Sessionboard. So moving forward, everything becomes a source of truth within Sessionboard. Your speakers can adjust and make edits to themselves. I have a new headshot. Let me pop into my form at any time and I can update that. And now you as the event owner have that information in real time. Let's take a look at what this form looks like from the back end and how are we pulling in and utilizing these fields. So we're going to go to our portal, and all of our forms, file requests, etc., live here on the back end as a high-level area for us to use as resources for every single portal that we create. So from a CS recommendation, build out absolutely everything that you're going to need from every single speaker first, and then we can apply it to your portals. As Jasmine said, using that first template portal and then replicating or duplicating that will save a bunch of time. So your most complicated custom portal, build it all out here and then reapply again. So as we come in, we'll just edit here, and we're always set with some pre-existing fields, but we can here add in either additional fields that we call questions here, or we can add custom questions that we'd like to target towards our specific speakers. Now this one's pretty standard, nothing overly specific, but let's get a little bit more complicated and think about what if I have an internal team that's participating as a speaker and they're going to have some reimbursements or receipts that I'd like to collect from them, something not as standard, and also using Sessionboard as our post-event resource as well. So opening up this form here, we've created a custom field called receipts. So if I open this field up, just to make a quick edit, the file type and the field type itself is a file. So I'm telling my speakers that they can upload an image here and accept multiple files. So for my entire day one, let's say I hosted someone during a breakfast, I have a receipt that I'd like to be reimbursed for. I can upload that receipt here, and now you have that available from an admin perspective just for your bookkeeping purposes. We've also created some conditional logic here. So based on the response that a speaker is submitting here, then they will see these follow-up questions. So if I don't have any receipts to participate or submit here, then there's nothing else for me to do on this form. Let's take a look at what this looks like from a user perspective. So scrolling down again, all of our tasks live underneath the sessions that we're assigned to here. So here are my receipts that I can click into. And again, my dynamically pulled in information, my first and last name for my contact. And now we have our specific question, do you have any receipts? When I click yes, then we have our 2 follow-up questions. Now I can upload my files and share any additional context around those receipts. If we select no, then I don't have anything else to do here. I can submit this form and carry on. All right. So those are our specifics for the contact forms. Now, what if I'm a speaker and I also need to make some edits to my session as well? By clicking into their portal, again, as a one-stop shop, all of the sessions that they're assigned to, either as a speaker, a sponsor, a session submitter, I can click into this session here and see all of my high-level information, and I'm also looped back to the submission form, where as long as the submission form is still open, then I can continue to make any edits to the session itself or my co-speakers if and as applicable. Now, if this form has been closed, we're no longer accepting edits. However, I can still click in as an affiliate of the session and just review all of the information that they're seeing. Again, on the speaker information, they have that opportunity to update their speaker information via a portal form. So those are all of our forms that we have linked here specifically. So again, the portal form is updating contact specific information, obtaining additional information for our speakers, sponsors, exhibitors, etc. The next option that we have going down the list of types of tasks or bits of information that we can obtain from our speakers are going to be our, let me get out of here, our file requests. So the big difference between a file request and a form is a file request is going to go through an approval process. So an example here is a speaker agreement form. I, as an admin, am going to upload my speaker agreement where my user may download that, sign it, and re-upload the agreement for approval, making sure that the signature is actually present on that form. That way, both parties have a copy of the agreement itself. They can then decide to download it. You may also download this information. The beauty of a file request is that we aren't making the association between the file and the user. So where with a form, we're automatically adding that information to the contact itself, the file request is simply obtaining a file on behalf of that speaker. So if we don't need to do anything moving forward with that file, we can use a file request. The other beauty of using a file request is, let's say I have comments on this. There is a specific headshot size that we need to be mindful of. You submitted your headshot via a file request, but it's the wrong dimension. I can send a chat to you that the speaker will receive via an email, say, hi, we need you to upload a new version of this in order for it to be approved per the parameters that we have for this event. And that's a beautiful back and forth that we have. As each of these come through, all of the results will live in this one location where we can see the status of the submission that has come in, and then anything that they've also uploaded on behalf of that request itself.
Awesome. Thanks, Katrina. Now we're going to go into tasks. Now, of course, we're mentioning tasks and we use it as a broad term, but there actually is a type of quote unquote task that you can assign to a portal. So we're going to be walking through just 2 different ways which you can create a task. Number 1, I'm using this task that I have here, register for the event. Now, if I go into this task, I'm using it very, I would say, straightforward. I'm using it to link out to an outside website. And register for an event, I would say, is a common task that you may have for your speakers. And so I've opted for people to actually click a button that says mark as complete. And I'm using a actual specific field that is pulling in a description for this task. Now, what's nice is for my different use cases, I have internal speakers and external speakers. I want to provide them different promo codes. Now, I just want to create one task, but I want to share those unique codes with our contacts. To do that, I'm using a field for my description instead of just entering and typing in a description, which will be visible to all speakers or contacts. So as you can see here, I'm using the field registration promo code. And if I'm actually looking in the speakers module, this is a custom field I've created. And I've actually gone in before this webinar and just imported what I want this field to say for everyone. So the overall field itself is very standard. However, I did update the promo code for each contact. So now if I'm looking at this from a portal standpoint, I can locate that task, register for the event. It's going to pull in whatever description I have within that custom field that I've applied. Again, a unique way to create one task, but associate unique parameters for each contact. Now, let's look at a task a different way. Maybe I just want to create one task. It lists the same thing for every contact within that portal. I can do that. So instead of using a field for a description, I'm going to enter the description here. And I would say a tip here, honestly, maximize the use of that description field. Add in steps if you need people, or if you're asking people to go to a specific website. Maybe you want to provide direction on what they need to do once they're on that specific landing page. I can list that out in the description. I can use a bulleted list. I can include hyperlinks. I can include images, anything that will be helpful for our speakers. With that, I've also included a link just as an additional resource for them on how they can upload the content or the presentation for their session. And so taking a look at what this task looks like, it's a little different because, as I mentioned, I've added more of a bulleted list with some imagery that helps provide a visual into the direction that I want our attendees or our contacts to be able to view. Now here I also associated a link. So with any task that do have a link, you'll see an icon to the right of that task name. And that allows me to click the icon to take me to that associated link. So for this, just to provide additional support, I've associated it with our article on how to upload content, which provides additional details on how they can upload their presentation to Sessionboard. Now let's look at two other ways that you can share information with your speakers. So we have wiki pages, and think of wiki pages as if, I would say, prior to using Sessionboard, you maybe had details for your speakers living on your event website. You maybe had a sole page just for speaker details. Think of your wiki page as such. So the wiki page is just living in the portal, so it's gated. It's only accessible to those people that have access to the portal. With my wiki pages, I've created two different ones. One for before the event, another one for during the event. A lot of times with your portal, of course, you're sharing tasks, what you need to collect from them, but just as an added assistance to your speakers, it's really helpful to share what they should keep in mind leading up to the day of the event. So I've created two different they're at in their stage of the event process, they can look at either or. So I'm going into during the event. This one is going to provide more details about, the audience, what people can expect or what audience type we're going to have in the room. What do they need to bring on site? And then also, what is the suggested attire? What do I need to dress like? Now, as it relates to before the event, this is really important. So registration, do people have to register for the event? Do they have to book a hotel? Maybe it's additional details about the presentation. Maybe it's important details of what AV needs you will have available to you, or if you need to request additional AV needs, how to do that as well. So when looking at those wiki pages displayed in our portal, I'll be able to locate them within the Pages widget here. I can select before the event, and it's going to show me all of those details that were outlined by the event admin. And then similarly, I can look at the one that I've created for during the event. I can click on that to see all the details that I need to know about during the event. Now, these are just two unique use cases on how to share details with your speakers, but keep in mind the opportunities or options are endless when it comes to wikis. And last but not least, we have File, which I feel like this is very, very, I would say, straightforward to the point. I'm sharing a file with our contacts. So whether this is a hotel map, an agenda, maybe it's even sharing them more information about the PowerPoint template that they may need to use for the day of the event, or maybe any agreements or contracts that they may have to download and sign. And then like Katrina mentioned, using that file request, I can upload it back there. So the options again here for files are endless. This is just ways for you to share external documents or even external links. A key tip here is sometimes you may have a pre-event speaker call with your speakers. You can upload that recording as a file, just including the link here. And it's, again, another resource available to them in their one-stop shop. Now we're going to transition to how to view the data as it relates to, when the information starts coming in for these different tasks, file requests and forms. I, as an admin, want to view, what those results look like. And so Kashi's going to take it away and talk a little bit more about those dashboard views that you can customize.
Thank you. And before we get ahead of ourselves, I am going to pause. We need to apply all of these forms and tasks that we've built out for our portals as a whole. So what do I need to do to now take everything and make it so that your end user can see everything that we've already been sharing with you? So looking at our screen, these are all of the portals that we've kind of been popping in and out of, but I want to assign some of these tasks to maybe a brand new portal that we hadn't already kind of started from the beginning. So as we scroll down, we've already touched on the settings and the extra description that Jasmine added, but I want to add some additional tasks. We've already created, again, so we get to completely skip this manage task option and just go to assign our tasks. Here, if there is something that I need to remove, I can easily remove it, and I can also add it right back to this portal. Now, the other awesome thing about each and every single one of these individual portals is we can note whether or not a task or form is required and also give it an additional due date. So each portal can have their own set of due dates of each deliverable for each type of speaker that we have. So a really nice way to manage, maybe we have our main stage speakers that we want to make sure we have everything nice and early so we can promote ahead of time. Then some of our breakout sessions, we can allow that to come in because it's a little bit more of a collaborative session itself. So really easy to apply all of the information. And just as Jasmine was saying, once we build out our high-level template portal, we can easily duplicate that, and any of the required and or due dates that you set in that core template will automatically update and apply to that new portal that you've just created. But as you said, let's hop over to the dashboard where we can see absolutely everything from a nice holistic perspective. So how to get here, we navigated over to our speakers module. Here we have our dashboard view. If you did have multiple, you can definitely create additional views here and have specific fields showing or hiding in each and every single one of these dashboard views. Think about it like a Google Sheet that you're having different filtered views as you're collaborating with your coworkers. So here we have each of our fields pulling in. And as we scroll over, we can see whether or not a task has been assigned to someone, what portal it is that they're assigned to, and then whether or not they've started to fill in and give us some of their information. Oh, look, this person gave us their headshot. Let's click in. Beautiful. I can download this here if I need to, or just have that visual confirmation that that information has already been uploaded. If I need to make quick edits to a website specific to this user, I can add this text without needing to click into the contact actual profile field here. So creating a custom view, pulling in our tasks, fields, etc., that we built specifically for each and every single one of our portals, we can lay it all right here and see who's doing what when. If someone's falling really far behind, we can send them a quick email right from here, and all of our portal updates are automatically known from everyone that has access to this one spot. Excellent. And I think that is the end of our overall review of our portals. So I know, Jasmine, we did have one question that came in around who can access, can I be in more than one portal? Is it one at a time? How does that assignment work?
Yeah, so when it comes to portals, all contacts are only going to be assigned to one portal at a time. So keep that in mind if you do have people that match different filters assigned or associated with different portals. Now, if you do want to make sure that a contact is viewing the correct portal, what you want to do is make sure the order of the portals are to your liking. Now, what I mean by that is the person is going to be matched with the first portal that appears on your list here. So if I want to adjust the order of the portals, maybe instead of them being assigned to the template portal, I want them assigned to the external speaker portal. I can select that pencil icon to adjust the order. So bringing external speakers up to the very top, pressing save changes, and what the system will automatically do is reconfigure the number of contacts assigned to this portal. So again, really important, everyone is only assigned to one portal and it's going to be the first portal that they match with. However, if someone is supposed to be associated with, let's say, additional portals, you can always create a custom portal and only assign it to that person. And it includes all the different tasks and resources that they may need. Now, I do know that we are getting close definitely to the end of time. I do want to make sure anyone, if they do have questions, please put it either in the questions area or in the chat box. And while you do that, Katrina, if it's okay, I want to share a sneak peek into something coming to the future of Sessionboard. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first sneak peek. And I would say Sessionboard is happy to announce that in the coming months, we are going to be reimagining the look and feel of portals. So you'll be able to see here on the screen that we're going to be adjusting the look and feel of our portal experience for our speakers, sponsors, exhibitors, moderators, chairpersons, anyone that has access to that portal. And what's really nice about the redesign of our portal is that they still have access to the core, functionality as far as accepting or completing tasks and viewing resources, but what will be additional layers to the new portal experience is being able to view my profile and make updates to it. So Katrina mentioned how right now you can create those portal forms and add those contact level fields. But now you'll have a sole place to view your profile and then make edits there. Also, you'll be able to view all of the sessions and even events you're assigned to and view it in a calendar layout. And then last, but certainly not least, is being able to view the portal in either a dark mode or a light mode, which is really nice. So again, those are just 3 of the additions to the portal experience that you'll see in the coming months. But we're looking forward to this new portal design, and we hope that you all will also appreciate the new design as well. And I think we may also have one more question, just as a frequently asked question coming from other groups that we worked with. And a common one is, how can I preview a portal before sharing it with speakers? I think it's important that when you are wanting to preview the portal, you add yourself as a contact to the event, assigning yourself to a session. And then what's really nice is when viewing your event, at the very top of your page, you can select My Portal. That takes you to that portal to preview it. So just another tidbit on how you can preview that portal before you share it with your additional speakers and contacts.
Exactly. Another quick tip around setting up your portals. As Jasmine mentioned earlier, as you're working through your session submission form, we're still obtaining everything, but you want to get your portals started ahead of time. One trick of making sure that no one is going to be automatically assigned to an impending portal, you can update the email so that the filter is matching your contact information so that no other contact is going to automatically apply there. Just make the filter very strict so that until you're ready to unleash it or unveil, it's only being assigned to you at that time.
That is a great call out, Katrina. And as you can see, even here, we did that for today. We created a template portal. We used the email field as that filter. And then for this one, I've only limited to my email address. So only I have access to that portal. So another really good tip and call out there.
We do have one more question. Jasmine, what if I am a speaker and I'm just really busy and I'd like an assistant or someone else to just be able to take care of things on my behalf?
That's a really good question. I feel like it's very common. You may have admin assistants that want to have access to your portal to complete those tasks because, of course, everyone gets really busy. And so we have a feature here at Sessionboard called Additional Contact. Now, keep in mind, this is only right now available to our admin users. So if you do have someone reach out to you saying, hey, I want to have access to, in this case, Katrina's profile, how can I do that? So what the admin will do is they will go and locate that speaker within the speakers module. For this instance, I'll just use Ian. I'll be able to select that pencil icon. This will open up Ian's profile. And then towards the very bottom, I'm going to see an area called additional contacts. This is where I can easily add an additional contact to Ian's profile. I can add more than one, maybe there's 2 assistants. And when that additional contact logs into Sessionboard, again, using their own email address, they're going to be able to view the portal for that respective person. If there are any tasks in that person's portal, I'll be able to review those tasks and complete them for the speaker. I also can view any other details. So as it pertains to their session, if I just want to make note of that on my personal calendar, just so that I can make sure the deadlines are just on the forefront for the both of us. So use that additional contacts feature, which would be really helpful to provide access to other individuals that want to complete tasks on behalf of a speaker.
Awesome. That's really neat. That way someone else can just hop in and take care of things for me.
Exactly.
Excellent. I believe that is the end of everything that we have. For more, for any questions, please reach out to us at support@sessionboard.com. This is a recording, so we will be hosting this so anyone will be able to rewatch should they need and want. Any final last words, Jasmine?
I want to say thank you all for joining us. This is our first CS-led, as Katrina mentioned, webinar, and we have plenty more to come, definitely talking about just additional ways that you can use the existing features that we have. And also, who knows, maybe even talk about some future ones. So definitely be on the lookout for upcoming webinars, but have a great rest of your day, everyone. Amazing week ahead, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.